Fellow armchair Imagineers,
Tiki here,
and BlueDragonFive.
and welcome to the Main Street Cinema, the show where we discuss the finer points in filmmaking. Oh man, Dragon. Honestly, I feel like with Avengers Infinity War, this film is such an event that literally you could just have a trailer that just shows all the characters, just a single shot of each character, like this character is going to be in it. This character is going to be in it. You could sell the movie. So I was a little bit skeptical about the Infinity Wars trailer. As a matter of fact, Dragon, as you'll remember last night, I was like, I don't think this is going to happen, but there's a possibility. Like, there's a possibility that this trailer is just going to kind of rehash the footage we've already seen and kind of just give us a little glimpse more, and that we might not have to talk about it. Dragon, how wrong was I?
You were so wrong.
God. So, Dragon, what was your first reaction to this 2 minute and 18-second piece of pure fanboy hype?
I was even before I saw this thing. I had to jump on the tickets when I knew this thing was coming out. So it was the first thing in my mind. But secondly,
So you had to that's unfortunate. So you're like, oh damn it, I know the trailer's there, but I have to get the tickets.
Mission comes first, Tiki. Mission comes first. But yes.
Funny, I waited until midday, and while I didn't get a seat in like the center of the theater or anything, I'm happy with where I got.
Yeah. Well, again, I didn't get my ideal seating, but I did strike it right though. I still got a good seat. Basically, got a whole grouping. I got a whole row essentially. That's what I was doing.
You see, that's the tricky part, because with me, I'm always just buying for me and my dad. So yeah, I keep forgetting that you go in these big groups.
It did have a few sell out. They did have a few contingencies that sold out. So basically everything except the front row, which let's be honest, no one wants a front row.
Of course not.
So the point is, it worked out. Not to the way I would have liked it, but believe me, it worked out. That's all that matters, because this thing's going to sell out like crazy. Basically, this thing practically sold out all the first showings within 4 hours,
which is pretty insane when you think about it. And Dragon, I'm happy to say I got into one of my theater's first showings. I got into a 7 o'clock, so I'd say mission accomplished on my end.
All right, so. Yes, so yeah, the trailer I was very happy with. It has a lot of great moments, and definitely I love that it doesn't really give anything. It doesn't give anything away that we didn't already. That we could.
Soothe my paranoia. This is coming out on a Thursday night, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was just thinking, because we had that week. A thought crossed my mind, and I kind of panicked a little. I was like, wait a minute. What if it comes out on a Wednesday, and therefore Tuesday night is the early screenings?
Remember, the official date is the 27th. Therefore, the actual date is the 26th, Thursday.
Got it. All right. Anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of. I love that we don't really give anything away. I mean, anything that's in there is something we've summarized from the first trailer already. So anything, it's like, there's no true spoilers. Like nothing we couldn't figure out on our own. So it was great tonally, and it still found a way. I like that this is the last trailer we're getting. I think that second Super Bowl spot is basically served as like kind of a mini
last trailer.
I'm sorry?
I said I'm not going to watch any other trailers if this isn't the last trailer somehow.
Well, sure, that's what I'm saying. This is the last trailer, so you don't have to worry about it. But right. The point is, I think that Super Bowl spot served as kind of like a mini trailer too, and then basically so they could shoot their wad in the best of ways for this one.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think that it wasn't. I don't think it was.
I think you're right about this not being something that's overly spoiler heavy or not anything that we haven't seen before visually. The thing that really stands out to this movie, this trailer, that I'm sure you'll agree with, is this is a tone setter.
It is.
This balances the act of making Thanos incredibly threatening, and I gotta say, I'm stoked for Thanos at this point. Like, there was a point where I was like, yeah, Josh Brolin, kind of big bad guy, we'll see how it goes.
I think optimistically, I'd like to think that this trailer put the little meme to rest of the whole wife beater Bruce Willis Thanos. I think this...
okay, to be fair, I don't think it put it to rest at all, but I think the wife beater thing is part of the characterization. You have to understand that, Dragon.
Well, I just mean like people taking
meme at all. I just think it's an observation at the way the character is being handled.
Well, what I mean is like people like taking shots at the whole like California rays and walking down the street type
Oh,
jokes.
yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, like we're not gonna have like an Ivan Ooze situation where you just can't take apocalypse seriously going into the movie theater. That's not
So
happening at
that's what
all.
that's like the white. I'm just saying
My
that's like
bad, my
another. It's like that's the other term they're using along with like Bruce Wilson's like Thanos and a wife beater. So that's what I'm referring to, not the whole like themes you can read into the wife. Any of
And
that.
speaking of themes, I mean, we'll get into it. I'm really excited about it, but Thanos has a philosophy behind him that you can see in this trailer, and it might not be it might not be like a word for word replica of his motivations in the comic by any stretch, but this is doing what the MCU does best. It's taking a storyline and it's retroactively refitting it to to take place within this saga, within this continuity, and I'm really excited about it. And more importantly, Dragon, this trailer does a tightrope act of giving us a couple really big standout comedy moments. I think you know which ones I'm talking about.
Oh yes.
And also moments of basically like a Russian roulette of like, which big hero are we gonna kill off? Thanos has them all in his clutches, you know.
Yeah, there are definitely some great fan service moments for me, and just some moments that definitely feel tailored towards like, oh my god, we're doing something really big and crazy here, and we're loving it.
Sure, sure.
So yeah, and also just to note, the two characters we still haven't seen anything from, and they are slated to appear in the movie, and all we've heard are kind of murmurs here and there about them. But Hawkeye and Ant-Man, there are no shows in all the marketing.
Yeah, we had the Entertainment Weekly covers and
That's all.
and were no shows in there.
Well, Hawkeye, he did get a cover. He got a cover. That's the only thing we've ever seen of Hawkeye for this movie.
Oh, I
They're
thought he
doing.
didn't get a cover. My
Yeah,
bad.
he got a cover. Ant Man is still a no show. The only reason we know Ant Man's gonna should at least he's slated to be in the movie is his name's on it. We saw in that little
Dragon, you know they're just being cocky and they're gonna like zoom in on a Photoshop of a poster and be like, "See, there he is, there he is."
true.
You know that's what they're setting up, Dragon.
I mean, they're really last thing I'll say, but then we'll just jump right into it. Is
Oh,
that what they're really doing is they really have their bases covered, so they can do anything and they can avoid spoilers. Is that they're shooting both movies back to back, so if anyone finds out anything, it could be in the other movie, and they can switch them around. So, like we saw like a set photo of like it was during like some natural it was we had they did like a cast video, and we had. Evangeline Lilly and Paul Rudd. So basically, had Ant Man, Gamora, and Nebula and Wasp
but that
there
could
on.
very well be in part two.
Exactly. We don't again because the whole Ant Man the Wasp coming out this year. We don't know if they're gonna like go back in time for.
And that's the only thing where it's like we don't. That's the big question mark with Ant Man in this movie is we don't know if Ant Man and the Wasp, like you said, is going to be a prequel. We don't know if that's going to affect Dragon. I wouldn't be shocked if Ant Man's not in this movie at all. I'll say that much. I wouldn't be shocked about it. However, having said that, I think he's going to have a really big moment, a really big entrance into Infinity War Part 2 or whatever the sequel to this ends up being.
Sure. And again, they're really keeping us guessing with the whole again with that part one, part two, what part two is even going to be called. Now, part of me is going to.
Don't get me started on that.
I'm gonna be a little bothered if they just end up calling it Infinity Gauntlet. It won't like kill the movie for
I'm
me.
not going to be bothered about that.
No. What bothers me is that they've kept the song and dance of hey, we're not saying what it's gonna be called. Why not just call the first one Infinity Gauntlet, then the other one Infinity
Okay,
War?
that's the thing. If they do call it Infinity Gauntlet, then it's basically going to be a Rise of the Planet of the Apes war, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes situation.
Yeah, I mean, more so it's just
the Apes should have come first.
more so just why not do like the part one, part two, and then just have still have your different titles as like the sub. As a sub, I'm just saying, you're all this time you're saying no, we're not doing part one, part two. It's all one movie. When in the end, it would turn out being it's the same continuation.
Right,
right. The point is that we'll see. Again, at the end of the day, it's not going to like put us off of it by any stretch, but it's just going to be like, guys, really, it's just you guys are just showing off and being like, we know our Marvel better than anyone else at this point. I'm just saying, all the fans of this 10 years of Marvel, they're going to be able to piece it together what they're doing. It's like, no, you don't know what we're doing.
Well, it's kind of like the J.J. Abrams, like, oh God, what was it? The oh no, Benedict Cumberbatch. There's no way he's Khan. There's no way he's Khan.
Exactly. It might be one of those things. It might be like a Nolan,
like, what, do they think we're idiots?
like a Christopher Nolan. Like, there's no Talia in this movie.
Oh God. Oh, don't get me started on
You
that.
know, I mean, I'm saying the point is
Oh,
directors have to play games and when they're kind of put into a corner like that. So we'll see.
right. All right. So shall we get to it, Dragon?
Yes.
Okay. The world is turned upside down.
And you'll notice it is turned upside down by the arrival of Thanos, because in the sky you'll see a little glowy yellow thing, and that is Thanos' ship entering, most likely.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's either Thanos' ship or the big spinning wheel of death in the sky.
And then, of course, we're getting a narration. One of the few times we see Rhodey, by the way.
And well, we know Rhodey's back in the saddle with this image, you know, because he was
Yeah.
in. We've seen some photos of him with the little leg brace from before.
Okay, so of course we're getting a narration, a chilling narration of Gamora. Dragon, do you want to
Yes.
do you have that word for word, or do
Well, I
you?
don't. I don't have it word for. I have the ending word for word. I don't have
Okay.
the whole thing. But essentially, Gamora is informing the Avengers about Thanos. We see Rhodey's back in the saddle. We catch a glimpse of the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I love this shot here. Again, you see it kind of coming across the way. And basically,
I
what's
love
being
the
said.
magnetism of the Infinity Stones.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Now what we see this over this is what we have with Gamora, where Gamora says basically she establishes the premise of if he gets the Infinity Stones, he can wipe out half the universe. And then here's the line that gets me. So he'll be able to wipe out half the universe with a snap of his fingers. Now, Tiki, for the longest time, every time I've ever had to explain the Infinity Gauntlet to somebody, I always go to the moment in the book where it's he with literally a snap, if not like a motion of his hand, usually a snap. Like he always uses a snap of his fingers as a description. Snap of his fingers, he can kill all the Avengers and then bring them back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always. I just love that we have that in this trailer. I love that we have that moment with Gamora. I was so happy. This to me
And
is the
it's very
fans.
appropriate that Gamora gets that moment.
And this to me, like yeah, you're right, Dave. It's perfect that she, the favored daughter of Thanos, can establish this. But again, just that just that snap is such a fan servicey moment we get in this trailer. And again, it's something without giving us spoilers, like something that people would already know. And if they don't know, they okay. So we get why is that a gauntlet? Why is that a gauntlet? Well, you know why. So you snap his fingers and destroy half the reality.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, Tony Stark here, he's finally informed. I think this movie is really going to boil down to being Tony Stark versus Thanos. I really do.
I think this movie's going to be Tony Stark versus Thanos. My theory is that Tony Stark's going to get killed off.
Oh yeah, well we'll get let's save that talk for the end. But
Sure.
but yeah. So again, he finally learns his name. Hey, who's that red? Who's that purplish guy from the end of Avengers?
Thanos.
Yes. I like that we see him in some armor. So even if people are kind of put off by like, hey, Thanos going sleeveless, hey, we do have the armor in the movie, so I'm happy with that.
I've heard complaints about this where it's like he's just in the middle of the school bus and he's putting on the mask. And what do you think? I don't know. To me, it's kind of like a Laster we don't care because the shot itself looks so cool.
It is. It's cool in that I love just
Who
kind
knows?
of.
It could be an empty school bus, and the bus driver's distracted by something. Who knows?
Well, regardless, we know they're going to set that giant kind of circle of kind of death, and I don't mean like a trash beam or anything.
Well, that's
I mean,
what I'm
like,
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, even if there is a bus full of kids, like they're probably all going to be looking at the giant ring of death.
yeah, and it's a portal. We don't know what it is, folks. It's just like I think it might be like if I think my theory of it was like a mechanical portal versus like a like you Thanos using the Tesseract. So I think it's a mechanical way of opening a portal in New York. Anyway,
Oh.
the point is that they're either all going to be distracted by that or like that thing's going to go off and there's going to be like kind of a seismic shock that's going to like throw things into chaos. And in the chaos, Peter will probably slip out the bus window and don the mask. And I just love like the immediacy of like the minute the spider sense goes off, like he's out the bus, with the mask on. It's cool.
Visually speaking, I love the little the skids in the water as he goes down.
See, there's the ring up in the sky right there. That's what Iron Man's racing to. Yeah, so he's racing to that big old ring right there, and we see he's definitely had some upgrades to the suit.
Oh God, I love how he looks like a chess piece.
You're right. He does look like a chess.
I'm not joking, Dragon. I think it's a really cool look for Iron Man.
It is. I just didn't think of it. Oh my God, he is like a chess. I've seen these Marvel chess sets, Tiki. He does look very much.
Oh, I know. I haven't seen the chess sets, but I've seen the Marvel Heroes tabletop game. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that.
Vaguely.
Yeah, yeah. So that kind of it's kind of what it reminds me of. But no, I'm glad that you've seen actual Marvel chess sets. That makes me happy.
All right, so basically, what Tony's kind of
Man,
narrating
I
over.
love this tech.
All right, well, hold
Like,
on, this
there's
tech.
any chance that this tech came from Wakanda? That Wakanda's kind of getting involved with Tony Stark's tech?
Well, here's the thing. We know it's always a question of how many suits is Tony Stark going to have in the movie. I think later on we're going to get the Wakandan tech suit, but right now I don't know if this is the.
Okay.
This could be the. I know we're going to get. It's very likely we're going to get a Wakandan suit later in the movie. I
Uh-huh.
don't know if this is later in the movie or not, though. So that's why I'm a little lost on it. But so basically, with this show, this is an important shot here. So
Can I just say I love how much attention our boy Strange is getting in this trailer?
oh yeah, and there's a big thing we got to talk about Doctor Strange in this trailer coming
Of
up.
course.
But with Strange here, it's basically what Tony's kind of laying out here, and I think it's good to kind of lay out the premise of the movie for the trailer here. Like this thing, it's simple and something you can put together on your own. Is that Tony's plan is to have Thanos come to them because they're basically going to get the Infinity Stones all in one place and kind of use it as bait. And in particular, they're going to use the two stones they absolutely have at their disposal: the Time Stone, which you see before you right now in the Eye of Agamotto.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh
the
boy.
Mind Stone
Oh boy.
in the Vision's head.
All the betters in Vegas are like, him, he's gonna die, him.
And this most likely, and here's something I'm just inferring this, bear in mind. Again, it could always like change this around a little. It could all just end in Wakanda. But my theory is, with those two gems being used to kind of lure Thanos, they have two teams, and maybe I don't know if it's like a Tony and Steve still not quite on the good terms with each other. Again, they're on working terms, so they're not like I don't know what their terms are. We don't know how much time.
There's a possibility that Tony and Steve go the whole movie without interacting with each other.
Yeah, we don't. You're right. That's possible. We don't know how much time has passed and like how much time has been given for these guys to kind of heal their wounds yet. And we know that Tony does have like Cap's new shield from Spider-Man: Homecoming, so that's thrown me for a loop of like where we're at and all that. So anyway, with these two, my theory is so again, Doctor Strange, as we see in the previous trailer, we got Iron Man, Wong, and
Mm-hmm.
most likely Peter in New York is probably closer to them. Obviously, all of that's like. That's going to be attached to Doctor Strange with the Time Stone, like a lot of chaos in New York with Iron Man dealing with that. And the Vision would probably be in Wakanda.
Yeah, I'm guessing Vision, Bucky, Cap, all that faction is
the epic running shot. That's probably all Wakanda, all tied to the Vision.
Of course.
Oh, here we go. I love this shot coming up here where he's shaking hands with T'Challa.
Dragon, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like a lot of time has passed between these two when they're reunited.
Wait a minute, holding the shell. We actually have some clues here. I just noticed for the first time. Go back.
Sorry.
Okay, let it. Let's get it. Oh, there we go. Holden. So okay, here's what we can see.
Bruce, we've got Vision, we've got War Machine with the artificial legs, which I just want to say for the record, Dragon, I'm not crazy about the artificial legs.
Well, yeah.
Of course, we got Falcon there.
Yep, we got Black Widow. We got there's Vision, so we know they had some Wakanda. So we have Vision and Scarlet Witch.
So you know, Vision at least survives to Wakanda.
All right. So again, I'm thinking like
that's not M'Baku in the background, is it?
No. I think those were M'Baku's men. They were all dressed like him. Probably.
Okay.
Well, we know he's in the movie, Tiki. I'm just saying.
I can't wait to see M'Baku. Like basically all Black Panther supporting cast. I'm really excited about.
We know. Honestly, I know they're going to have like a large number. I assume they're going to have all of them because we have at least almost all of them in there. Even like the
Okoye.
No, not Okoye. I know Okoye. I'm talking like the one from Civil War. It wasn't Okoye in Civil War. It was Ako or Oye. Sorry. Anyway, she was the one that Black Widow almost kind of mixed it up with. As entertaining as that would be, that one. She was in Black Panther too. Anyway.
God, so, I barely remember there being a Dora Milaje.
Dora Milaje, yeah, she was in Civil War. She was like a little first. She was the first glimpse we had at the Dora Milaje.
Man, okay, I need to go back and watch Civil War again before Infinity.
She has the big earrings. She has the big kind of bone earrings. Like,
okay, yeah, it's coming back to me now. Right.
And she's towards the end, or like basically when they have like a walking shot of T'Challa, Shuri. I think it's Okoye also, and then you have Ako.
Okay, so speaking of Shuri, I'm disappointed that we don't get more from her in this trailer because I feel like Marvel should be self-aware enough to know that that she's one of the big standouts of the Black Panther movie. So I really wish that we would have gotten at least one interaction with her. And God, Dragon, with all this talk about like maybe Tony Stark and Captain America don't meet up with each other, oh man, I'm gonna be so bummed out if Tony Stark and Shuri don't get a scene together.
Well, I know one thing: if they don't have Shuri and Tony Stark in this movie, they're definitely going to have in the next one. They got to have in this movie. I'll bet you they're going to have those two. I'm just saying, with all the fan demand and everything, we know it's got to, it's got to happen. And again, we theorize they might keep them separate, but at the same time, Bruce Banner, who was in that Doctor Strange scene,
Bruce Banner is the one person to be in both.
Exactly. So that implies, there might be some kind of crossover there, and Iron Man can fly. So,
Well, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, seriously though, I mean, Shuri, it's nice to hear, but I'm kind of glad we don't see too much of Shuri, because she's gonna have some of the best parts of the movie, I'm sure.
That's true, and she's probably gonna have a smaller role too. So,
okay, speaking of, there's an interaction that's been a long time coming.
Oh God, Dragon, this is amazing. This is exactly as wonderful as I was hoping it would be.
There's my guy on the left there. There's Star-Lord. Good old Star-Lord's kind of undercutting cutting Iron. Your plan, you got a good plan, but it stinks.
Sucks. Dragon, what I love about this is so natural to the philosophy of the Avengers that they're basically just co-workers who are forced to get along with each other.
Yeah.
And so Peter Parker, he's like the young guy, he's the new hire. He's like, I don't want to have anything to do with the drama.
It's cool, two Peters in the same scene.
And then Drax, he's just like, he's kind of the guy who's been at the job forever. He's like, oh, leave me out of this too, Peter.
I love that Spider-Man's next to Drax, by the way. Just love that.
Just the compare and contrast with the size between Spider-Man and Drax.
I know, it's great. So, just Tony Stark's just in disbelief over, wow. These guys are free spirits, and they're just gonna ruin my vibe going on here. Like, no one's ever called me on the plan like this, except for Ultron. No one's ever really called me on this like a regular basis.
Right.
The beauty of Wakanda. Take it in, folks. Okay, I have big Hulkbuster theories. So,
do you think the Hulk is in the Hulkbuster?
Yeah, I was getting to that. Yeah, so the Hulkbuster,
Sorry.
My theory is preferably there's two buttons inside that Hulkbuster suit. So here's what'd be so great about it, Tiki. I'm saying Bruce Banner is inside the Hulkbuster. Therefore, for the arc of Bruce Banner is in control of Hulk-like strength.
Oh, okay.
And there are two buttons in there. One would probably be a button that would play the lullaby. Black Widow, singing the lullaby that would probably calm him down in case he's hulking out in the adrenaline of battle. And secondly, and this would be great, and this was my big payoff, at the very least, I want the second one in there. He pushes a button where he begins to Hulk out, but he knows in the last moment, so he pushes the button, and the Hulkbuster armor armors the Hulk like we saw in Ragnarok. So it turns in like armor for.
Oh, hell yes!
And here's
what
it would signify. Bruce Banner.
Dragon, that would be like a Giant Man style applause moment for the audience.
And it would be basically, it would show Bruce Banner and the Hulk, who've been at each other's throats, always been kind of battling over the same body. It would show they've reached an understanding.
Sure, definitely.
That for me, that's what I want. I want to see. Bruce Banner deserves to be in that Hulkbuster to show that he has, he can be in control in the battle and still be of use, but also, again, just kind of have like that Hulk within the armor, like Hulk. Basically, the armor, like it probably lose the arm parts. So it'd be like an exposed kind of, basically a sleeveless thing, and the Hulk's head would be open, but the rest of it would probably be like a giant Iron Man chest plate, and the rocket boosters from the feet. I guess. Yes.
At the mode, eat your heart out. We're bringing back capes.
Yeah. And we have a trio here, and we know these three guys are going to be paired together from the Entertainment Weekly covers.
Rocket's just like cape. I want a cape.
So we got here's a trio for the movie. We got Thor, Rocket, and Teen Groot, or Groot, the teenage years. Oh, which, by the way, actually we should address this. Yes, we found out James Gunn rocked everybody's world. I guess like towards the end of last month, in revealing that Groot actually died.
Oh, really?
Yes, Groot died. So Teen Groot is actually Groot's son.
No.
You didn't know this? How did you not know this?
I just assumed it was Groot being
Well,
reborn.
I mean, yeah, we all assumed this. I'm saying this was all over the place, Tiki. I'm surprised you didn't hear
I
about
did
this
not hear
revelation.
that. No.
So yeah, that's like James Gunn confirmed it. He assumed everyone knew, but again, I didn't know either before he said it. It's just that no, Groot. In the comics, Groot regrows. I'm just saying James Gunn's kind of turn on it is that no, the original Groot died in Guardians, so that is the baby Groot turned Teen Groot is Groot Junior.
Well, I mean, that kind of makes the whole "We Are Groot" thing a lot more poignant. Not that it was
Yeah,
all that
right.
poignant.
Yeah,
I need to rewatch the first Guardians again now.
that's pretty beautiful, huh?
It is. It is. Okay, I love the scale of all this. I'm assuming this is Titan.
Well, you gotta remember, Thanos is the Titan, Tiki.
Oh, I thought well, I know he's the Titan. I thought what's his planet then? I thought his planet was something like Titan.
Oh, well, yeah, you're right. He does come from a, I mean, he's always called the Mad Titan, which I wouldn't be surprised. I never thought about what his planet was called. Probably he's called like Titan or something.
I'm
So,
pretty sure his planet is Titan.
all
Yeah.
right, that's fair. And it's been a while. Again, I'm not deep cuts into the Thanos origin because I
Okay,
usually be
well,
all.
Dragon, I've been looking up Infinity War stuff on atop the fourth wall, so I think I know a little bit better than you do now.
Well, I'm just saying consensus is we always jump to Infinity War, then kind of Infinity Gauntlet, then we work
Okay,
backwards
well,
with
yeah,
them.
you know what I mean. And I've been looking up Infinity. Nah. Anyways, I've seen both of his videos, so I should know. I know a thing or two about Titan. Anyways.
Yeah. So yes, now here we go. Big flashback.
Oh yeah.
We got Thanos in
This
this
was
shot.
going to be one of my root image suggestions before we went with Captain America.
Well, we had another Gamora suggestion, but this works too.
I think this is a lot more like I love the snapping, but I think this is a very like you know what this could be? This could be like a pseudo motivational propaganda poster from Thanos.
I'll tell you what my theory on. Here's my read on this, Tiki. So there's been some word going around lately that we might not have Lady Death in this movie.
And
And
honestly, if we don't, I wouldn't really be opposed to it.
well, here's what I'm saying in its place, which would fit this image that we're kind of focused on right now, is that with this flashback to Thanos and young Gamora, the favorite of his daughters, a part of me wonders if maybe Thanos in some part is doing all this for Gamora in service of his children, in service of his family.
Right.
What if instead of
Which
death,
would make Gamora kind of like this huge plot device for the movie.
yeah, and of course we've been building a lot of family stuff with Nebula and Gamora and in the Guardians universe. So perhaps basically instead of love being the motivating factor, family being the motivating factor.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah. Then again, we'll see. They could always pull you always pull Hela at the last minute, like for the next movie, like reveal like he saved Hela in the destruction of Asgard, and then he's like going to kill half the universe to fuel her and give her power again.
Mm-hmm.
You'd always pull that. So, or Lady Death. Okay. Oh boy,
This is where it gets into the parade of like, let's kill off all the Avengers characters one by one.
I've been looking into this, and again, I think Ragnarok really, Marvel. A part of Marvel might be mad at Taika Waititi because they had all this merchandise. And I'm looking at the merchandise. They had so much merchandise of Thor with two eyes.
Right.
And like now, like the new poster they put out after this trailer, like it's the first like new poster since then. Not the Comic-Con one, but like a new one. It's like the only thing you can find of Thor with the missing eye. So it seems like that there's like an 11th hour change. They got to now go back and like add all this, add like the eye patch on everything with Thor now.
You know what else I'm kind of somewhat bitter about with Ragnarok? Not too much.
Well, yeah, it's the Hulk thing, right?
No, not the Hulk thing. It's I kind of feel like that first post credits with Thanos' ship. I feel like that almost kind of revealed too much about where we're going to go with Thor at the beginning of Infinity War.
Well, in a shot we're going to see coming up, we kind of see where we left off. Right here, actually. Okay, hold it. So, actually, I'm gonna infer this now. You bring it up. Okay, imagine this: the scene we just saw with Thor's head being crushed is we're aboard Thor's ship. Thanos has forced his way onto Thor's ship with all basically the exodus of Asgard. So all the people of Asgard are there, and I'm presuming he takes Thor out of the equation, like throws him out of there, and of course he'll land on the Guardian ship somewhere. And all these dead bodies, these are dead Asgardians as Asgard gets killed off.
I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be.
Loki's kept
What do you
alive
think about
because,
Korg, though? Is Korg going to be in Infinity War, mate?
well,
It is possible that Korg could just be like a really brutal death, like he just crumbles into dust.
it is possible. He's made a rock, though, and again, one of my theories for definitely Hulk and
Like, hey, you can't punch me with that glove thing. I made a rock, bro.
we know Hulk crashes into the Earth, so again, I'm figuring that in the destruction of the ship, some people are going to be jettisoned out of the thing. Like Thor's going to be like beat up by
Oh,
Thanos, and
so it could be that Korg just gets jettisoned out, like Admiral Akbar style.
I'm saying a few of our guys might get kind of jettisoned out at the last minute. Be like, I'll put it to you this way: if Heimdall survives, if Heimdall doesn't survive, then Korg's a goner.
Okay,
All
okay.
right, if Heimdall doesn't, if Heimdall gets killed off in this, then Korg doesn't have a prayer.
Oh God.
I'll say that. I'll say that
But
much.
I've only been in one movie, bro.
Yeah. So, anyways, of course, Loki's kept alive because you remember he had a deal with Loki, and Loki has a bargaining chip we'll probably present him with the
Sure.
the Infinity Stone. That, of course, is the Tesseract. And we all knew that was coming. I mean, that's not a spoiler. That's like one of the things that's not a spoiler. Of course, he's going to smash the cube to get the stone inside. We
Of
knew
course,
that was
of course.
Oh, here we go. Shield action.
Oh yeah. Classic Shield.
I really hope Bruce Banner's in that. Again, we haven't seen Tony Stark there, so I'm presuming that Bruce Banner
Now
is in
keep
that
in mind, we
Hulkbuster.
did see the Hulk in the classic run at the end of the last trailer, but we don't see the Hulk in this trailer in Wakanda.
That's true, and again, I'm theorizing that's Bruce Banner there, and if that Hulkbuster, or ideally the Hulkbuster armor gets blown off of him, then hey, he's then they'll
That's
show
where the
it.
run comes from.
Yeah, like he'll be out of armor, so he'll be running around.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so let's see. I want to make sure we're not missing anything major. Did we? Okay, destruction.
We just got some cool action shots of Star-Lord jumping around mostly.
Oh yeah, we saw it in the first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a Vision.
Oh, here we go.
Here, yeah. Okay, big scene here. So this is from the comics. Okay.
Oh man, I'm sure Gulliver saw this and he was like, "No, not Strange."
Now this is actually something from the comic. I don't know which Infinity. I don't know if it was tied to like one of the Infinity War, Infinity Gauntlet tie-ins. It wasn't like Infinity Gauntlet, but it was. This is from the. So the villains we saw before paired with Loki. Those are our big bad guys from the movie who are
They're
assisting.
kind of like the kind of the good versions of the oh god, the Angels of Apocalypse or the Four Horsemen.
Yeah,
The Four Horsemen.
Is that exactly? So those horsemen, if you will, they're called the Black Order, otherwise known as the Children of Thanos. Now, those guys are Proxima Midnight. She's the girl who like throws the spear at Captain America in the one trailer. This guy is Ebony Maw, and he's terrifying for a reason I'll get into in a moment. There's Clovis Glaive. He's the only name I just Corvus for short. And then we have Obsidian. Obsidian's the giant muscle guy.
Uh-huh.
Those are our four guys who are assisting Thanos.
So let's talk about this guy right here because oh my god, this is a creepy shot.
Okay, so in the comics, now again, it wasn't Infinity Gauntlet, but it was in the comics somewhere where Thanos sent his guys after. His guys were on a mission for Thanos, and they had to go deal with Doctor Strange. So this guy is Ebony Maw, and he tortured Doctor Strange in the comics. That's a moment they're pulling for this moment here where he tortured Doctor Strange in service of Thanos. And this guy, he doesn't have necessarily, he's like he has the power of persuasion, so he's like a non-combatant type guy. And as we see here, he's I want to say he's like Thanos' go-to torture guy, and he's going to be sent to Doctor Strange. And if you go back to the image before, you'll see he has the Eye of Agamotto around his neck, which means this guy's been sent to get the Infinity Stone for Doctor Strange. And what it seems like he's doing, I could be. Doctor Strange might have been trying to use that mirror dimension. He basically harnessed the mirror dimension as like the most painful acupuncture lesson ever.
Mm-hmm.
Does Ebony Maw? He's terrifying in this image. I'll give you that.
Kind of reminds me of like what people wanted Snoke to be.
Someone give Snoke a toupee fast.
Oh god.
Falcon.
Of course, all this Wakanda stuff we've kind of seen before.
Okay, this is cool. Now we got to talk about these guys because they can take down a Hulkbuster. So for a moment, these guys, or they're called the Outsiders. Now this is cool. Like
They're
Thanos
basically
is
the Chitauri of this film, I'm guessing.
they are, but they're cooler looking. So here's the
They
thing.
are cooler looking, I'll give you that.
See, this is what's cool. So we have the Outsiders here. This is like with
They almost kind
Thanos'.
of look Venom-esque. There's kind of like a symbiote quality to them.
Yes. So, like, I'm sorry, not Outsiders. They're Outriders. Sorry, I was thinking of
Okay.
something else. But the point is, these things are called Outriders. Is the idea of Thanos' army along with the Black Order. Which, by the way, the Black Order, from what I hear, are being really kind of touted up. Like these guys are going to be as powerful, if not, well, not more powerful, like combined, definitely as powerful as Thanos. Like, these guys are not to be trifled with, and they could take on the Avengers, the Black Order themselves, not even counting Thanos. And this is what his regular army looks like: giant monster, giant Venom-esque monsters with 4 arms, and they can take down a Hulkbuster. That's the thing. They take down a Hulkbuster. Like in that scene, if Bruce Banner doesn't like turn to like Hulk wearing Hulkbuster armor, or that armor gets destroyed, then the Hulk appears and he's just running without armor. One of those two things is going to happen in that moment. I'll bet you.
And Dragon, I wish I had Thanos' monologue here down more word for word, but I have the. Oh, you got it.
Well, I mean, let's see. Oh, yes, we have. All I can hear from is perfectly balanced, as all things should be. And then in this line,
and then this line chills me, Dragon. This is my favorite line in the trailer. He basically just says to Tony, "I hope they remember you."
That line is so great and so chilling, and suggesting that
these two. It literally makes my blood run cold thinking about it.
Definitely suggests that it's like, think about it this way, Tiki. The guy who's trying to end the Marvel universe, Thanos, is saying this. I hope they remember you, to the guy who started it.
But what I love about that, though, Dragon, is I love that it all boils down to what I think the big picture potential with Thanos is I love that Thanos has a philosophy about it. He's got this way of thinking, and in his mind, it's truly an honor to be fighting with the Defenders. You know what I mean? This war that's going on is truly one
Avengers.
for the history books.
Avengers, Tiki said Defenders. As much as I'd love to see that, it's not.
I'm sorry. But you know what I mean, though. You know what I'm getting at. Like Thanos just views the Avengers as as this great accomplishment that he's taking them down, and I love the level of respect that he's giving Tony. Like that's what makes it so chilling, is that he's like, I hope they remember you because you were a good opponent.
What I really love here, and what it seems like they're doing, here's my prediction with this. As much as I'm going to love the shot coming up, with this shot here, again, that line is great, but it looks, you can see like Tony's in like evaporated armor, like the armor's been destroyed and stripped away. So I think it's really going to boil down to Tony Stark
on the planet.
Yeah, because it's in the same lighting scheme as everything else. Yeah. So yeah, it's just gonna be like inside that ring, wherever that portal is gonna lead, in that ring in the sky. So I think it's gonna boil down to the ending battle being between Tony Stark without armor versus Thanos, and more of like kind of a conversation before kind of. I really think it's got to be like kind of Tony Stark versus Thanos here. And again, in the book, famously, it's Captain America versus Thanos. And I think we're going to do that bit from the book, but with Iron Man here. I think we're going to have the bit where,
and I think we're going to build up to Captain America versus Thanos a little bit more as we get into. We're clearly seeing Captain America face off with Thanos, but I think part 2 is going to be more Cap's movie against Thanos.
Anyway, in this moment here, it definitely seems like we're going to have that moment where Captain America stood up to Thanos in the book and was the last man to die at Thanos' feet before he brought everybody back. And I'm not saying it's unclear how much of that we're going to be doing in this movie. The whole snap your fingers, bring everybody back. But yeah, I mean, it's a cool image of kind of Thanos going against the Tony Stark with that armor. It's pretty cool looking. And here we go. So that was cool. This is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Oh, geez.
I love the look of desperation on Steve's face here. I love how it's like he has a mix of fury and fear on his face going up against Thanos.
Now, here's something I love here. I caught this on the second time I watched the trailer. I go back to 147.
Okay.
All right. Now, you'll essentially in this scene, here's what I noticed in the rewatch. So, one, it's great that it's Steve Rogers versus Thanos, and that's cool. And again, are harkening back to that Infinity Gauntlet face-off to an extent. But what's so great here, and this thing I called in the rewatch, is that he's holding his own against Thanos. And you'll notice this before this moment, Thanos is just he's bringing the gauntlet down, and Steve Rogers is catching it. It's kind of like the Hulk's, Hulk kind of coming down on Cap's shield moment from the comics.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And here's the thing you can tell. Thanos, he brings the gauntlet down. We cut to Steve like holding it up, and then we cut back to the shot right here.
Mm-hmm.
The shot we just had there, where Thanos is like gritting his teeth, and that now Thanos is trying, like Cap's holding his own. See, like, he kind of grits his teeth, like, man, this
Let's
guy's
just
not
kind of
going.
play it out one more time as you're describing it, kind of a blow by blow.
There we go. So he catches the gauntlet. Steve's holding it up, holding it up really intensely where he didn't think he had to, and then coming up is Thanos right there. Now he's going
Oh
to
yeah, I see
strangle him.
it. I see it. It doesn't really translate well as a still image, but when you see it animated, yeah, he's like, "Oh, son of a bitch."
That's a thing. Like Cap is putting his all into stopping Thanos right here, and a part of me wonders. I don't know if they're going to do this, but I mean, how cool would this be in that shot where he's like holding the gauntlet? We see the above. We see there are two gems in that gauntlet. Imagine how awesome it would be if Cap, and again, it probably won't happen because I think it would be dangerous for him, if Cap just reached in there and grabbed like one of the stones and ripped it out of the gauntlet.
Oh man.
No, but seriously, I'm down for this. Kevin Smith had a lovely,
Yeah.
had a lovely sentiment about this scene where he basically quoted the line from First Avenger about I don't want to kill anybody, I just don't like bullies. And it's just it's such a wonderful statement about that character. I'm so in support of, and I love that. So getting into the big theory about this movie, right before we get to the fun tag at the end, let's talk about who's going to buy the farm.
Oh God.
So I think again, depends like how if we do. I don't know if we're doing all this in this movie or between this movie and the next movie. But I know who the two people who kind of need to die. Much as I hate to say it, believe me, folks, I almost want to rinse my mouth out with soap saying this, but Tony Stark and Steve Rogers need to die in these movies.
Yeah, and like I said, I think the likelihood, if I were a betting man, I would say Tony Stark goes out in this movie, Captain America goes out in part 4.
That's Tiki. I understand that. That's my instinctual. I'm with you on there.
And also Loki is totally going to get wasted in the battle on the ship. I'm calling that right now.
All right. So again, so instinctually, I'm with you there on like who would die per movie because he gets what it looks like in the trailer. However, they could pull a reversal. Like Tony Stark, like Captain America could die in this scene, and Iron Man kind of somehow pulls like a temporary victory out of his butt in the last seconds of the movie.
It's possible.
It could be a misdirect. That's what I'm in the editing. But
oh yeah, for sure.
We're definitely supposed to think just kind of the straightforward. Okay, so Iron Man's going up against Thanos.
Thematically, Iron Man is, of course, as you said, he's the one who started the entire thing. So thematically, losing him, I think, would be the bigger punch because, by all intents and purposes, Iron Man is almost kind of like the Nick Fury of this group now. He's the one who kind of ties everyone else together. You know what I mean? He's kind of the glue.
Well, I'm with you. I mean, if I want it to go your way, I really do. I want it to go like if they're going to kill him off, then Tony Stark should die first, and then Steve Rogers can kind of make amends.
I'll tell you one thing: I don't think my Spider-Man fake out death is going to happen anymore. I've kind of gotten off that train.
Well, here's the thing that's kind of cool about both these characters and like why this like we can see they're really close to an ending because Tony Stark he's gone as far as he can really go. I mean, after this movie,
I also think there's an outside shot of Thor.
Well, we know they're going to
part 4.
I'm sorry?
I said there's an outside shot of Thor possibly in part 4 because his franchise is kind of wrapped up. We have Asgard's kind of taken off the map.
Yeah, you're right. There's a shot there. And we know we're going to kill off some major Avengers, though. I doubt Hulk's going to die, though. I think they're going to keep him around.
Rhodey needs to fucking die at some point.
Well, that's kind of aggressive.
I'm sick of Rhodey being alive. How's that for aggressive?
That is why we had said so many nice things about Rhodey and Black History Heroes.
You know what? I know. Don't lay the black thing on me. All right, don't even start there.
I'm just saying, we like that. We like Rhodey. Why are you killing him?
I'm just saying. I think it's ridiculous that he survived Civil War. I don't want to get into a big debate about it.
Anyway, here's a death that everyone's seen coming. I'm going to bet you is going to happen. We know Hawkeye's going to get a little side mission. If I were to guess, Teak, my guess is Hawkeye's going to find the Soul Gem. That was going to be his mission, and of course Thanos will catch up with him, and then we're basically Hawkeye's going to do something important.
I could see Hawkeye getting Cyclopsed. I could see him just getting wasted off screen.
But whatever they do, I'm imagining Hawk is going to do something really big and then get killed off. So he's going to have like he's going to go out in a blaze of glory. Which, if I were to guess, like his side mission would probably be finding the last remaining Infinity Gem.
Uh-huh.
That's my guess there. But again, like thematically, again, so Iron Man's gone as far as he can go. You know, he's engaged, if not again, depending how much time has passed since Spider-Man, married to Pepper Potts. That's as far as Tony's arc can really go. And you know,
Sure.
once he meets Shuri, like his everything is complete. Once he meets Shuri, to be honest.
And of
And
course, there's always the potential of side characters being killed off, like Wong or Okoye or people like that.
sure, and we know Doctor Strange does have another. You know, there's Cleo, his wife in the comics. So there's always like she could come in and fill the Wong role possibly.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, Steve Rogers though, again, he definitely he's reached the end because you know he's kind of Civil War was kind of the Captain America. The first Avengers Steve Rogers movie. Avengers is he's bringing back the symbol of Captain America, Winter Soldier. He's kind of grappling with like what America means in the modern world. He's disillusioned, and he gets to Age of Ultron. He realizes there's no life for Steve Rogers. You know, I can't. I'm on a battlefield. I can't be anything but a soldier. And Civil War is him like Captain America not siding with the government. And what we have, he kind of dropped at the end there. He's dropping the shield, and he's now kind of what people are calling the Nomad Cap. He's kind of Steve Rogers again. I love that we've kind of gone full circle with that character now, where he's now at the point of he's Steve Rogers again from the very beginning. So we're caring about what happens to the Steve Rogers, and by that logic, Captain America's kind of done as a character, so we kind of have to pass on the mantle. So this event, the Avengers Infinity War event, both movies, whatever. It's the end of his story. He can't survive this.
Wow, that was a mouthful, but yeah, I see what you're saying. All right.
Was it anything good, or was it, was it just as random?
No, it was a lot. It was a lot.
Right.
Just saying, I'm kind of on a time crunch here because we have to get 2 more things in.
All right, well, let's hit the stinger gag then.
Yeah.
Take us through it.
I am, if it'll play.
I know it's playing. I'm just saying, take the floor.
All right. Doctor Strange. Oh, we're going by our fake names. All right, I'm Spider-Man.
Spider-Man does whatever.
Dragon, I really hope there's a point in the movie where Spider-Man just like he abandons the Iron Spider suit and he's like, you know what, screw this. It's gonna be easier just with me.
Well, at the very least, we know he's going to start the movie in the classic Spider-Man suit, so we'll definitely he's got to have like a gag to Tony Stark about mentioning, oh yeah, Aunt May found out, and she really wants to yell at you.
Oh God.
Still waiting
for that. I just pleasantries, Dragon. Pleasantries. That's all that can be said about this exchange, right?
And I love and one of my favorite runs of Spider-Man. There's a great kind of Spider-Man Doctor Strange issue. It's so again, I like just kind of Spider-Man meeting Doctor Strange. It's kind of a nice little kind of both Steve Ditko creations meeting each other. It's nice.
On
the big screen. So yeah, it's Infinity War. It looks good.
Yeah, it looks okay.
I'm sure it'll be,
I mean, I'm sure it won't make as much money as Justice League, but
yeah. But oh my God, seriously, I mean, Infinity War, 10 years of Marvel paid off. It's going to be fantastic. We'll see what happens. We can't begin to really kind of truly guess what's going to happen. Because again, it's so much good stuff. They bombard us with so much good stuff, so much cool, epic stuff. It's like, it's to the point where like we don't know which way is like we can't go linearly through this. We have no idea what's going to happen. We're going to experience it. It's going to be bombarded by the coolness, and we're just going to roll with it.
Okay, folks. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we will, of course, Dragon and I, we have our tickets, so we'll definitely be there for opening night, and we'll have our first reactions. And Dragon, you know what? I think I'm going to ask Jacob Gulliver to come on just for a Doctor Strange corner.
Okay.
Like, he doesn't have to be on for the whole spoiler cast or anything, but I really want Gulliver to come on just to talk about the Doctor Strange of it all when we have the chance.
Yeah, we'll give him a little chair with the cape and everything. It'll be nice.
Yeah, exactly. Like, all right, Gulliver, what was your take on Doctor Strange and Infinity War? I really want that to happen, folks.
Yeah.
All right, folks. So, yeah, in the meantime, see you guys later.